Alright, welcome back to We Play Games. I'm Walker, and we're about to start another Humankind tutorial campaign here. We are going to be playing on the highest difficulty level, but I'm going to be trying to explain everything to you so that if you watch this deep dive tutorial, you can play on the highest difficulty level, I think, even if you've never played the game before, because I'm going to talk through a lot of the things that are important especially at the beginning of the game, because that's where you're going to get the biggest advantage against the AI. We're going to be playing on continents this time. Last time we played on Pangea, now we're going to play on 2 continents. We're also going to be playing with a stipulation where I have to have each era star culture I can only get once, so I can't do Estate every single time. I'm gonna have to choose when I get it, which I think is gonna make the game a little more interesting, because I do think that generally speaking the aesthetic stars are like just really powerful. And if you're not sure why, then I did do a series basically focused on that, but this one is going to be more broad. We're going to talk about all of the game. Ooh, I just saw something fun off screen. I just saw a mammoth walking off that way. Alright, so this is Humankind. This is a 4X by Amplitude game, but they make the Endless Legend and Endless Space series, but they also make this, which is Humankind. Humankind is a game where you're trying to get the most fame by the end of the game, and the fame is going to be derived mostly, but not exclusively, from meeting these star objectives. The objectives are going to be dependent on what era your civilization is in. Every time you're going to move up to the next era, you get to either pick an entirely new culture, you can transcend the same culture and just get extra fame from carrying it forward, which I think would also be a fun little challenge. But in this case, I'm gonna recommend that, generally speaking, don't try to exclusively maximize the number of points you get in each era, because you'll fall way behind anybody who's marching their way up and getting a bunch of different civilization bonuses. But each culture has a little permanent bonus that is going to follow with you all game, and so you want to assess that as part of the strength of a culture as well, and getting into a culture that's going to give you nice bonuses all game, it can be really strong. But in this game, what we're going to be trying to do is we're doing a little bit of exploration. Normally speaking, I would recommend that people try to either follow a river or walk to the high grounds, because that's where you can see a lot of the map. But we got to see a mammoth walking off screen at the beginning of the game, and there's prairie food right here. This is going to be 5 food probably, but if it ends up being 10 food, then we have the ability to do a mammoth hunt on turn 2, which is really powerful. So I'm gonna say we're gonna still take it one tile at a time in case we see anything remarkable, but hopefully, cross your fingers. It's only 5 food. Unfortunate. We can do a mammoth hunt with 1, but it's a lot trickier, and generally speaking, I just don't think it's worth it. Especially because this is food along a river. Food along a river, fresh water, is 15 food. So that is going to set us back in terms of exploration if we go this way, because we only get to see 1 tile. So it's unfortunate that means that we take a really inefficient turn here, but it's going to be followed up by having 3 pops next turn, and then having the ability to change into another culture if we want to. Actually, another mammoth. It was actually another mammoth. All right, cool. So now we have 2 units here, and 2 units is enough for me to feel comfortable doing a mammoth hunt. So we're going to go ahead and start a manual battle. We want to make sure that we occupy any sort of highland territory. All right, so hopefully this tribe is close enough, yes, that the mammoth attacks us. Good. So that mammoth attacking us was attacking into a troop that was on high ground and therefore had +4 strength, because you can see that there. And they had -3 strength from the river crossing, and we had +3 extra strength because we were on the defense. So when you're doing a mammoth hunt, one of the most important things you have to keep in mind is these little humans, that you need to use terrain to your advantage, because mammoths are a lot stronger than your humans individually. Alright, there we go. So we got a turn 3 mammoth hunt, which is going to get us 20 influence and 20 food, which means now we have a size 4 hunting party here, plus we have this one that we broke off, and now we can use that to claim territory to add a little outpost to the board. So we can add it over here at a 14-4 or a 14-5. The 14-5 is going to grow obviously a lot faster, so we're going to go ahead and slap that one down. Wow, and we found a lot of stuff over here. There's more fresh water, so that's another plus 15 food. And of course we have all of this up here. So we could enter a new era, but I'm gonna say remind me later, because I'm gonna try to grow our tribe a little larger than we did last time, where we flipped pretty early, so that way we could ensure an estate star. But remember, we're gonna be moving around in this. We're not gonna be sticking with just one culture type the entire game. We have to change. But we're gonna get another mammoth hunt here. All right, so one thing we're doing here that's a little different here is we don't have a height differential that we can exploit, but we do have this wide open plain, which we can use to do rear attacks with. So now we're just surrounding the mammoth and attacking it. There we go. Hunter Star unlocked. Awesome. So we will break these groups up. One's gonna go this way. That's some more nuts. Excellent. We'll go grab that fresh water, and that's gonna be good because when we encounter another civilization, the thing that we want to do to them is just rock their world. We want to be able to invade the settled masses. Oh, look at that. Yeah, one thing that I like about the AI in Humankind is that they actually pick very strong factions at the beginning of the game and thereby deny it to you, which means if you want to get access to the strong nations, you need to prioritize going early, like moving out of the Neolithic early. Oh, those jerks, they're on the fresh water. All right, we'll just grab more influence. Always grab more influence. Ooh, somebody has forward settled us. You know, if that ends up being a territory that we can invade, I wouldn't hate it. Yep, let's go do another mammoth hunt. So we're at 16 pops and 5 turns, and it's just because we found a source of mammoths. Mammoths really, I think, are the other thing that you can do if you want to avoid forced estates all of the time. Just hunt mammoths. There's a reason that Neolithic people started doing it. Oh my god, there's another one. I mean, if they're gonna be all over the place, like, how am I supposed to say no? By the time we ascend, we'll have a bajillion pops, and then we can actually use some good warriors against Archanar. I think we might end up going into Assyrians. I think they're pretty fun to attack people with because you get to move fast, and that's usually all you really need to succeed. Gotta go fast. Oh, the Assyrians were taken. All right, so the Olmecs remain, but I feel like we've already demonstrated how powerful the Olmecs are, and I want to do something a little different here. You could do Myceneans. Myceneans are pretty good. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and start with Myceneans, actually. So now all of these wounded scouts that we have running around, we have to decide if we're gonna just keep them mobilized or if we're gonna disband them into the city. Because if we disband them into the city, then we can either re-raise them or we can wait until we get city defense, at which point we can build our emblematic unit, Promulkoi, make Mycenae enormous, and then just conquer our neighbors. That's usually a pretty good way to do it. Or we might not even need our emblematic units, to be honest. Yeah, because we're gonna have 2 4-stacks of scouts. That's a lot of scouts. We didn't come here to not rock and roll. This is a peasant swarm that we're sending at people. All right, so here we do have a city, so I want to discuss this city of Mycenae. So my city has 4 different slots for pops to work in. Pops come from being either grown or just being resettled, so don't forget that you can resettle. That's a very powerful way to use outposts in the early game. But the pops, while they're here in a city, they can either work food, industry, money, or science. In the other games, it's dust rather than money, but Fidsi, whatever, it's all the same. But the food is the stuff that determines how many pops you can grow, and how quickly they will grow. Industry is how much stuff you can build. Money is just the amount of money that you have coming in, and science is the science that you need in order to make scientific progress. And so, generally speaking, you're going to have a lot of your cities probably using balanced policy. There are some really good arguments for city growth at the beginning of the game, but being able to tech through this fast is pretty important. I don't want to be spending 6 turns on calendar if I didn't have that one scientist. That one scientist is more than doubling my research speed. it's definitely worth doing. We're gonna make a little army to help us smash through the blue up north, whoever that is. Yeah, refuse. We are gonna do a surprise war against the Joe. Sorry. You shouldn't be that surprised, though. I do this a lot. Alright, so they're gonna do me the favor of attacking. Excellent. That means that they have deployed troops into the kill zone, which is down here. Because now we have troops up above who are going to be able to add a lot of hurt here. Yep, we are going to avoid moving in there ourselves. So we'll just have you defend, and we'll be attacking with higher combat strength. Plus, they're at lower hit points, so that's a trade that I'll make. All right, it looks like our bait is gonna survive just barely, but that's 1 hit point is 5 hit points is 1,000 hit points, right? So we could attack them here, or wait for them to attack us. I think we should defend and then aim to take them out this round. So by capturing their capital, that might just end their empire. I don't know if they had any other cities or not. But if they didn't, then we just took it out for a song. And on that note, we might as well start moving north. We'll just see who's up here. If it's a civilization that I feel like we can profitably attack, we will attack them. And then these other units over here, we're gonna use them to explore and probably settle around here. But it looks like there's more food. There's more food up north, so maybe we'll just conquer all of our... Oh my god, is everybody on this continent? All right, you know what? We're going to take reduced industry unit cost, because if we can get just tons of these dudes on the board, I wouldn't hate it. Turn 10, we'll have a stack of them that we could send south. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. And then we'll also have a stack of scouts that we can scout with. Yeah, the Mycenean Empire is just going to destroy the entire world. That's pretty cool. I like doing that. But yeah, if you're not gonna be Estate, then you probably need to come up with a solution for influence. And one of the solutions for influence, by the way, can be just ignoring it. If you just conquer your opponent's cities, then you don't need to worry about you don't need to worry about any of that stuff. Forced surrender, give me your city. I don't know if that's actually gonna end their empire or not, but I don't really care if it ends their empire or not. Because what we really wanted, we got, which was the city that we didn't have to pay any influence for. Let's go attack the Assyrians. We're going to have a really lethal army, so I'm not afraid of attacking them, even though they are, like, the hardest of the food that we could find. One thing that you do need to keep in mind when you're playing Humankind is that not only is there an industry cost for each unit, there's also a population cost. You see there underneath costs, I can't pin this, but underneath costs it says 10 industry and then -1 pop. So if you're going to build just tons of promacui, you need to make sure that you have a massive population. One of the other nice things about the Myceneans is that you do have these really strong things that are the Cyclopean fortresses. They're your emblematic district, and they let you exploit territory as if it's a maker's quarter, but you can build it like it's a hamlet, so not adjacent, which is really powerful. On that note, it might make sense for us to just buy out the Cyclopean fortress here, because it's gonna massively increase the amount of industry. The main plaza is where the city is actually headquartered, and that's where a lot of these pottery workshops are going to be going into. But you also have out here these outposts, which can be attached to your main plazas, and they get an administrative center. And the administrative centers can still exploit the tiles immediately around them, which is really powerful because it lets you exploit multiple things at once. Babylon. That could be a good target, actually. Babylon's pretty strong in terms of getting you extra science. This is a 20, and it's 1 turn faster, so yeah, we'll take it. There we go. Assyrians, where did you put your city center? Because here's this massive cliff face that you guys have in my way. All right, we'll just use the scouts as scouts. Yeah, all right, we'll declare war. This gives them warning, which I'm not thrilled with, but that's a short-term problem. It's going to be turn 14, and we're going to have a 4-stack of Promachoi sieging their capital. That should be enough. We're just going to send this hunting party around to scout to see if there's anybody else over here, including another one of the Assyrian. I don't want to have to hunt the Assyrians down across the the entire world. Oh man, Asur is a really, really well defended city here. Because you see how it's built in the perfect space where it kind of can't be assaulted very well. We need to get up here in order to attack over to there. Oh my god. And there's the river defending that side. This is gonna be a death trap to try to fight on. Alright, yeah, we're just gonna assault them. Alright, we're gonna use our troops that have to attack across a river. This is very advantageous for us because we are using our champion buff, which is very powerful. Maybe try to sneak around here. Ooh. Maybe try to sneak around here indeed. Yeah, we're just gonna defend. I'm gonna send them further in. Yeah, we're gonna lose a couple of these guys here. Unfortunately, that is the nature of the game when you do these rushes. Oh, looks like we got our rear attack. And we might survive that. Ooh, baby. Oh my god. Oh my god. Did we seriously? We got the battle with 0 losses. Yeah, 10-15s are a whole extra turn. So yeah, we'll just add one here. All right. So if we are gonna switch into Mauryan, then we're gonna need a lot more money actually. So I guess we finish this war down here and then we switch. I don't know why you think that we're gonna sign any treaties with you guys, but that's ambitious for you to ask. Babylon, we could siege Babylon. I think we probably could just send one wave in to die to weaken up the attackers. I wouldn't hate doing that, especially because it does not look like Babylon has built a defensible location. It looks like they've built a location that's going to be pretty easy to siege down. Does Babylon have any troops in here? Does not look like Babylon has any troops in there. All right, we're going to manual battle it because they are attacking us. Okay. Well, the levies are coming out of their fortifications to attack us. And that's where their strategy is going to be flawed. Yeah, we'll just defend these guys. Because if we don't get all of them in one round of combat, it doesn't matter. If we take out all of the defenders of Babylon with this little siege party, I'll be pretty thrilled. So the way combat works in this game is you have these combat strengths up there. That's next to the big beefy arm. But you can modify it by having like friends nearby. You can also modify it by having advantage on ground. You see the levies now have high ground. We'll just defend everywhere. Defending is another thing that increases your combat strength, and the combat strength is the thing that's going to determine how much damage you're going to be doing. So by maximizing our combat strength, we're going to minimize the amount of damage that we're going to take in every round of combat. Overall, it's going to be really good for you to just reduce the damage that you take. And that's what defense offers you. Battle will continue next turn, but like the battle down here in Assyria, we are just mopping the floor with them. So the Nubians are going to survive. It is unclear if any of our other competitors are going to make it out of the ancient age. And that's why delaying your flip can also be very powerful. Did everybody spawn on this continent? If everybody spawned on this continent, then we're gonna have a pretty easy time ending this game a lot earlier. Maybe we go ahead and attack. I mean, I wouldn't hate taking one of their units off the board. Yeah, you know what? We're rude. We're rude. We're going to introduce ourselves to the Harappans by attacking them. We're going to enact small council because we are definitely going to have 4 cities pretty quickly. As a matter of fact, we might not even have to absorb or sack Asur. We might be able to just get away with it. Oh my god. Are we going to get it? There we go. The siege at Asur was won. We didn't lose a single troop. Oh, that was very lucky. But we're going to take Asur basically for free. I would feel worse about this, but like, the Harappans didn't have to move their unit into our territory. Just because they thought it was their territory, that also seems like a skill issue on the Harappan part. I think Mauryans might be on the short list for best absolute civilization in the entire game, just because of when it comes and how much influence it's going to give you. They're hard to keep pace with in terms of growth. They just generate way too much influence. The other way that you can get out of this influence thing is that you... The other way you can get out of influence is by getting into privately owned territory. If you get into privately owned stuff, that can be pretty good. The Babylonians. War resolution, forced surrender. Give us everything and 300. Give us everything and 340 gold. War resolution against the Assyrians. Give us Assur and 650 gold. Done. We are going to do the same thing, like just use estate to get tons of culture. Looks like the Babylonians might survive out here. I don't know. We'll find out. But Babylon itself is under our control. No one's claimed any wonders yet. I mean, it's because they've mostly been under attack, the Mycenean horde. But still, we may even just like heal these bros up to see if they can go conquer something else out here. So one of the reasons that you might want to rush down things is that you can get access to this little civic bonus here, which allows you to claim, attach, and merge territories with money instead of influence. And so if you can rapidly rush your way towards the medieval era, which is the next era, then you can start spending money to just rush, to just blob all over the board, and going wide with a different resource other than influence is incredibly powerful. It's incredibly powerful. Units are population that could otherwise be stationed in a city, so you really do need them to be doing something. Otherwise, like, why are they units? So yeah, we'll get a turn 19 pyramid here. I mean, that's okay. I don't hate a turn 19 pyramid. So we haven't really talked about like why it's so efficient that we're attacking people for cities rather than making our own. But making your own city requires a lot of influence that if you don't take an estate star in the beginning of the game, you might not have. And so it can be definitely worth it to just cut all of your influence bill and just conquer people's cities. I mean, we could just go attack the Nubians. I wouldn't hate doing that. We're going to take organized warfare in any case, because organized warfare is going to make it so that we, rather than fighting with a 4 stack, we can fight with essentially a 7 stack, which is just a lot more strength when it comes to... I think we are going to actually switch down to attacking the Nubians. I think that they are going to offer us more in terms of easy return. Yeah, because these are not going to be particularly difficult terrain to fight on. Ooh, built pyramids of Giza. Excellent. Good. Flood irrigation. Another 44 food flood irrigation. That's good. So food is really important, because if you have pops here that are living in your cities, you get influence. As long as you're like even remotely stable, you're going to be generating tons of influence from your pops. Hanging Gardens is pretty good. It lets you make a luxury booster. You know what? We're going to go ahead and do the luxury booster here on Silk, because Silk is going to be giving us a 10% industry bonus on all cities if we get this Hanging Gardens through. And yeah, we're going to abstain from intoxicants, just get extra industry. Extra industry is usually a good thing. We're pretty far away from being able to carry over our emblematic unit, but fortunately the Mauryan emblematic unit isn't like absolutely critical to any sort of military development. We've already been militarist and we've been estate. Really under protected right now. What are they doing? They have 26? All right, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and declare war on Nubia. Not sure what the Nubians are doing, but it would appear as though they are trying to break the siege with their levies, which is not going to go well for them. I can assure them of that. I should have had rear attack there. All right, we'll just defend, because we're about to get rear attack on. And now we're just grinding for a little bit of extra experience points, actually, because we know we're going to win the battle, so we want to just get one combat on everybody. Era stars, cool. All right, we took Kerma. That better not be all of the Nubian territory. Well, they did get cut off by the Harappans to the north. Oh my god. Did we just take out the Nubians on turn 21? Are we at 3 kills in 21 turns? This is intended to be a tutorial. I just kind of lost that thread somewhere along the way. But I do want to show you that you don't have to exclusively take estates. You can do other stuff. Like, we're going to have thousands of influence that we can't spend it on. Harappans have been a thorn in our side because we keep attacking them and they keep not dying. So shame on them. So when you're growing your cities here in Humankind, one thing that I think you want to focus on is your districts, because of course those are going to give you a lot of extra jobs. But how you develop your districts kind of depends on what's going on inside of your country at the moment. I think broadly speaking, you're going to benefit a lot from having a lot of extra industry at the beginning of the game, because industry is going to be one of those things that's going to allow you to transform your landscape, and that's this thing right here. And by transforming the landscape, thusly, you can end up with lots of industry, and then you can build tons of districts and have really big cities, and everyone will congratulate you, and it'll be the best time of your life. But the industry is difficult to develop without the right strategies, and I do think that right now, at least in Humankind, the best strategy for developing your industry is to just get as many of these little districts out here, as many outposts as you can, and then attach them, because they will exploit all of the territory around them. But unlike some of the other ones where they have like adjacencies that they already have to bake in, right? These farmers' quarters have to be adjacent to something, so you're not exploiting a new territory there. These guys, they plop down in the middle of nowhere. We're also utilizing the fact that there are all of these go-wide buildings that are encouraging you to just get as many resources as of a certain type as humanly possible. On that note, we are going to get every single luxury that we can. Okay, so we need siege tactics to add one more unit slot for each army. So we'll just go ahead and just rush that down. This is not a big surprise. The Khmer are powerful. Like the Doi, but we're going for military architecture anyway, so I feel like we'd be missing something up here if we didn't take the Khmer. And the reason that I like the Khmer so much is here, this emblematic district. So we're gonna click that and we're gonna just plop it down and get 55 extra resources. I mean, like, this is gonna completely next level the growth of all of our cities. It is gonna dramatically reduce our stability, so we are gonna be careful about that. Khmer things, I mean, that's really what this boils down to. Is it's sort of like getting a Hamlet super early, which Hamlets are ridiculously powerful. Same way with the Cyclopean fortresses, very powerful for the same reasons, where you can just exploit more. All right, get out of here, Assyrians! Quit getting in our way. But we are closing in here with our Khmer troops about to attack Harappa. I don't think we need to upgrade the Promokoi. The only downside is that cavalry can't actually attack into the city. With siege tactics, we should be in really good shape. And then we'll attack Harappa. Yeah, the Nubians died. That makes sense. And then there were 3. Oh my god, are we gonna do this in like 40 turns? Probably. You know what, we could attack right now. We're gonna go ahead and attack the Harappan capital and just see what happens. Destroy the fortifications here. Yeah, we'll just smash through these levees really fast. Anyone who got trapped outside of the castle will pick apart. So cavalry in Humankind cannot attack into cities, and so our horsemen kind of are mostly to explore around and see if there's a way for us to break into the city. Same with these runners. The scouts are mostly literally just that. They're scouts. If they die, I don't care that much. Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I think the problems emerge for people in Humankind when they try to go tall too early, because there's a lot of stuff that can lead you down the wrong path there. A lot of the things that look really strong on the surface, like Egyptians, they're powerful, I guess, but like they don't really do a wide solution, which is what you need. Yep, we only lost 1 siege weapon. Oh, Harappans, you put up such a brave resistance. Was that the entirety of their empire, though? Yeah, that might be it for Midas of the Harappans, and for everybody here in game for surrender. Give Harappa, and give me 2,000 gold. Is that everything? That might be everything. So now we just have the little Assyrians down here who escaped our apocalypse once before. But yeah, in Humankind, go wide. It's always better. Like the stuff that gets you the go tall right now, at least, it's pretty slow in comparison to what you can accomplish by going wide. Plus 50 industry off of artificial reservoirs. It's turn 30. Yeah. All right. Putting down a couple of these makers quarters just because we can. Might as well build a watchtower. It'll help me see into Nineveh. Yeah, I bet you want a non-aggression pact, don't you? Unfortunately, we have pretty strict orders to not allow you to settle anywhere. We still don't have any ranged units, which is definitely a weakness in the army right now. Get out there and just show them what you got. We're gonna raise another army out of Assyria, 3 Samanyas. I think you can definitely rush people down faster than this with military stuff, but the bigger the field that you're playing on, the worse rush becomes. Play on Pangea rather than on continents. You know, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me the entire game, which is fun, but it definitely is a different gameplay experience for sure. Oh, right, we should change our pop types over. The Sapa Inca Guard would be pretty good. We could just go Massai for just like massive pop growth, or Joseon for more science. You know what, let's go Maasai. Maasai is going to allow us to grow some really, really high population cities, which is going to be just like chef's kiss for us. 700 BC, and we will begin our siege. Agrarian is not a particularly powerful star, but I do like getting extra food here. If you're having stability issues in Humankind, then my recommendation is to start garrisoning units. Garrisoned units very, very quickly add tons of stability to your big cities, and so you don't need to prioritize stability as much as you'd think. If you just build units, like, that's really all you need to do. And then here we go. Instant resolution Nineveh. Good. We were successful. Oh my god, did we? Yeah, we did it. All right, cool. World Conquest. Oops. I swear to God, we are playing on the highest difficulty level. It's just that the strategies that are good are very good in Humankind, and so do adjust what you're going to be doing. Maybe there might be some like really good mods out there. Actually, if you know a good AI mod for Humankind, let me know. Like I think the base game is really fun. I think that the mechanics of the game are really insane, and that's like what I normally gravitate towards when it comes to games. But like the AI cannot compete with you if you try to play hard. You will very, very quickly find that out. But that doesn't make it like a bad play experience. I think it's very fun that you can just like completely smash people like this. It's just it's a little over the top. All right, war resolution, forced surrender. Give me all your stuff. Give me all your stuff. Is that a turn 37? I think that's turn 37. Yeah, world conquests are definitely doable in this game. Don't hold yourself back. Live your best life. So the last little stragglers out here for the Achaemenids are wandering around in the desert, but they're not going to find land, right? They can't find land. There's nothing left. There's no land left for you. All right, there we go. We eliminated all other players. So yeah, that's what you can do if you don't go down the aesthetic star. That was a lot faster actually. But you can combine those strategies together. Just make sure that you use any sort of advantage you can get when it comes to more resources. Anything that lets you cheat on influence by going wide, either because you're going to be in a state or because you're just going to be able to conquer people's cities. The easiest way to conquer cities, of course, is to delay your transition into an ancient civilization. If you delay your transition too long, you can end up really far behind, but you don't need to wait until like turn 25. It's the last turn, all empires are vassalized. Yeah, so turn 42, we finished up a world conquest. You can do world conquests a lot faster than that, actually. We're kind of just like shaving eras off right now. We're into the early modern era. We have not yet advanced. We're going to advance into the industrial era on the same turn that the game is going to end. So I guess we'll be French. Yeah, cool. We're French. Yeah, you can get a lot of growth really quickly in Humankind, and that's kind of the strategy that I want to encourage people to pursue. Yes, you can try to figure out ways to go super duper duper tall and like plan out every single district and figure that out, and sometimes that will get you a faster win, but like this was a turn 42, and it was only turn 42 because the stupid Assyrians didn't die when we invaded them the first time. They set up a little city down here in Nineveh. But you can do very, very quick world conquest in Humankind, and I think it's actually fun. The combat is diverse. The unit types I think are pretty fun. One of the things that I think that Amplitude does very well is that the combat in their games is just enjoyable. Endless Legend is a phenomenal game for those of you who haven't played it yet, and I think that some of that flavor comes over to here. I'm curious what the game plays like with the expansion. I haven't played with it. If you have and you have experiences, let me know. We didn't actually found a single city. We just took all of the other ones except for Mycenae. You don't have to go into Mycenae to have a really powerful ancient era. You can conquer the world with basically anybody in the ancient era. You just need enough troops. And that's what delaying your growth out of Neolithic is all about. All right, let's see the end credits. This game was really just a story of the Neolithic era. We just had an insane number of mammoth hunts, and that's really just what did well for us. If you have a crazy number of mammoth, and that's what was really surprising about the other game with the Estate, is that we had like literally 0 mammoth hunts, whereas in this game we had like 5. Delaying your Neolithic until you've done a couple of mammoth hunts is usually strong. It's usually pretty strong. You get a lot of pops. Gets you a big army, lets you attack people, lets you throw some of them away. We lost like 3 in a failed attack on something, I think, or maybe they got ambushed by barbarians. I don't know. It didn't matter. We lost 3 units on like turn 9, and it didn't matter. How far did Beowulf made it the longest? They were Assyrians, and then they were the Achaemenid Persians. Yep. And then they didn't make it out of classical. Oh my god, Midas got trapped in ancient. Midas just died. Ugh. I could do a tier list video. I think that would be fun. I think that the game. I think I'd actually be really curious how Humankind plays as multiplayer. I think something like this would be really fun, to be entirely honest. I think a really close map like this with 6 players fighting on one continent, you could get this game done in like an hour and a half. So if you have any interest in participating in that, let me know. I'm Walker. This is We Play Games. This is sort of, it was intended to be a tutorial video, but I just like, I got my head in on doing a world conquest really fast, and that's what we did. So I apologize. I was having fun. If you want me to do a more not galaxy brain version of Humankind, I'm happy to do that too. All right, that's Walker. Take care.